I just received a copy of my wife's spicy sleep tape. I don't know how to tell her.
Rim Kardashian?
First of the year, I received a package in the mail. It's a DVD addressed to me and a typed note that says, "For your eyes only."
Sinister.
It's my wife having spicy sleep separately with 3 guys. She was younger.
Can you have a seat over in that chair, please?
Much younger, based on body and appearance and hairstyle. It was around the time we were going out, either before or during, or after we were engaged. She grew her hair longer for the wedding and kept it that way. Also, this comes from throwaway SDD.
Why?
On the r/OKstorytime subreddit. First, I have no idea who sent me other than one of these guys in the DVD, none of which I know. I'm assuming it's one of my wife's exes. Second, I've no idea why they sent it. Are they trying to say she was screwing around on me? The tape isn't timestamped, so I don't have a frame of reference. She kept her hair short for years until we were engaged, so it could have been during any block of time, certainly before we dated. And also, what were they trying to achieve if this was taken before we dated? I know my wife had other partners. Hell, I had 3 times the partners she did before we were married, but that was 20 years ago. I think we're past that. But apparently, this person or persons isn't. The whole thing is strange. I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't told my wife. I'm not sure how she would take it. She's very spicy, sleepily, aggressive, and adventurous, but I don't think she'd like the idea of her past catching up to her. But I don't think I'll get to the bottom of this unless I tell her there's an edit. But do you think you say something?
I think so, because also, like, whoever sent this, like, that's
trying to ruin her life.
Trying to ruin her life. That's like illegal to have that copy of that and be sending it out.
My understanding is it was like for some corn, and it was like found online or something.
We sent a
DVD. We could like download the DVD.
But I was, and yeah, it totally could be that too. I was under the impression this was almost like a home video for like
home
spicy
video?
sleep reasons, not for
not
public
like public
porn reasons.
Yeah, I wonder which one it is. I was thinking it was like a paid gig. But maybe, but even it also could not be.
Yeah, it sounds like Izzy says maybe they're blackmailing her and then like a revenge corn. Like, there's got to be something here that's like not, I don't know. I would tell her for the fact of just like, hey, someone's trying
to blackmail
this.
Yeah, and like she probably would know who it is, honestly.
Yeah, and also it give like he said, it sounds like there's a high possibility that this happened before they were a couple. It seems, and I would just maybe approach it with the angle of like, I just don't want this person like blackmailing you. Yeah, essentially, but then also maybe having a conversation.
Yeah, I think talking about it, like as we say, stinky secrets grow stinkier.
Yeah,
and so expose it as soon as you can. Socrates says, "Got to pay for college somehow."
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's like a college side hustle rather than like
maybe, but that doesn't mean it's still like
it would be
legal.
It would mean it would be legal if it was a paid college side hustle. And she was like an actress,
right?
It could be completely legal, but still being used for blackmail.
Yeah, I wonder if the blackmail part of it is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it probably gets pretty complex, honestly.
But we got some edits. So edit. I'm overwhelmed by the responses. Thank you for your interest. We are interested parties right now.
Oh yes.
I did speak to my wife yesterday afternoon. Some mentioned letting her watch it in private, and I gave her that option. She did, and we talked at length. Some of it is a bit clearer now. The 2 amateur-looking videos are 2 roommates taken on the same night. That's why the camera doesn't move, and that's why the room is the same. I asked why the bed looks different, and she replied the sheets were a bit messy, so they changed them before they had another go. The other is a boyfriend she dated when her and I met, before we actually started dating. She knows this man is friends with one of the before mentioned roommates and thinks it's him who got the 3 videos together and sent them to us. Why? Well, she admits that last summer he tried connecting with her on Facebook When she did, he tried to make it spicy sleep yole again, so she stopped. She thinks he sent the DVD to cause an issue with us. For the first time, I now have doubts. Her answers are logical, but seem a bit off to me. And honestly, I may be upset that she did 2 guys in one night. I know it was 20 years ago, but that's still hard to take. Call me shallow if you want. Also, she didn't seem shaken by the DVD or the fact I had it, merely irritated that this person sent it. I had the idea she'd rather I didn't have it, but now that I did, oh well. Well, maybe she's just like secure enough in the relationship that she's not worried about it.
Yeah.
It still leaves many questions unanswered, such as why the tapes are from 96/97 and the DVD was made in 2013, but I'm just getting it now. That may be minor, but may be everything. Plus, how does this gentleman know where I live? Facebook doesn't give you that information.
So far that's the only thing that's raised like a.
Well, the main red flag I'm getting is an ex reached out to her on Facebook and she didn't say anything. Like talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to him for a while, and then once it got like a little bit too much, she shut it off.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And she didn't say anything.
Great point.
That is true.
And how I mean, there's ways of finding an address, but that's also like
And plus, the guy,
I see a little bit of red flags. Not with the 2 guys in one night, but the other stuff.
Yeah.
And the guy, since he has that's like power, he definitely would have mentioned it and been like, hey, I'm going to send this if you don't do XYZ. Like, you don't just send something. You try to get something out of it and then send it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what did he at first like successfully like try to get her to like continue this relationship or do something even more nefarious?
Yeah.
And then finally she drew a hard line and then he sent
threatened
it. And she's like trying to play it off as no big deal because that would potentially.
Yeah, because I think there were threats or like things he wanted, and she didn't mention that either, which I think is also a red flag.
But maybe why she didn't say anything is he like this guy reconnected with her and off the bat was like, I'm going to send this video if you don't send me this thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like initially it started as like, like just chill, and then it got
too far, and like she didn't want to expose the part where it went too far, possibly, allegedly.
So now I think we're squarely in revenge corn territory. Like this is not like like they filmed it. I think it seems like consensually. But now it's like in revenge corn. How does this gentleman know where I live? Facebook doesn't give you that information. Being in contact with someone does. So now you see why I have doubts. Thanks to you all for your concern and feedback. I love my wife and cherish her, and her past is her past, but for some reason it's slapping us in the face right now. I will take some time between the two of us to figure out what is truly going on. And we have an edit number 2.
Oh,
should I go get into it or?
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to add, I definitely could see where like some possible red flags that there might have been something more nefarious or bad done to the wife that she's like embarrassed to share.
Yeah.
I could also see that I think there's some insecurities with OP.
Yeah.
And maybe
which
OP's
he admitted to. He's
which he's admitted to.
Yeah, he's like, I'm irrationally like it's coming. Like I know I should be fine with it. Her past is her past. It shouldn't matter that she was with 2 guys in one night. But like I'm still bothered by it.
So I could see possibly either one.
Yeah. But edit 2, I want to clarify something. I've been getting a lot of feedback, mostly negative, where everyone is irritated with me that I'm upset with my wife for being 2 men in the same night. None of my business. It was 20 years ago. I should man up, that sort of thing. Look, I said it was hard to take. Most men understand their partner was with different people before them, but seeing their spouse with 2 men on the same night is hard to handle. I didn't say I was changing my view of her or leaving or any other angst you want to put on me. It was just a difficult thing for a married man to see and realize. I'll get past it, but it's not an easy thing. And for everyone who says it was 20 years ago, lighten up. I challenge you to sit back, grab a beer, and watch 2 young men have intercourse with your wife on the same night and see how you feel about it. Frustrated at best. You won't love her any less, but you'll not feel great afterwards, trust me. Did you have to watch the whole thing with a beer?
Yeah.
So thanks for everyone calling me an a-hole, But until you're in that position, I'll ignore you. Thank you very much. You know what you should never ignore? The fact that we go live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube. So final, this will be my last edit. Thank you for all your support, but all I will say is it's time for me to make some decisions. I hacked into my wife's Facebook account, childish and mature. I'll admit it, but I did it nonetheless. And I found things disturbing enough that I need to think long and hard about what to do next. I've given her the benefit of the doubt through this entire thing. Now a shadow has been cast and I'm questioning her more than ever before. Heartbroken is putting it mildly. It's time for me to work on my life and myself. Thanks for everyone and their interest. What is it?
Dude, like what a vague and just like,
I'm guessing that she was sending stuff.
Yeah.
Relevant comments. Burnt Pumpkin Pie says someone is sending you what is basically revenge corn with a smaller audience. Yes, tell her. And Pinkus Pizza. My ultimate concern is that it's 20 years later. Whoever sent it knows where they live. If they're psychotic enough to send the video, who knows what else they're capable of. And that's where it ends.
Wow. We need more.
There's no updates.
We need more. That's crazy. But yeah, it seems like very obvious that there was some sort of back and forth, like actual.
It sounds like he saw something that caused him to distrust his wife. We don't know what that is, but I imagine it's something of the nature of like talking back and forth with this guy or something.
Engaging with him in that way. Yeah.
But dang, dude, I want to know. I want to know. Oh, it's also so messed up that like people will just dig through your whole life and try to sabotage good things that you have by things you did in the past.
And like to his point at the very end, like I am low key kind of like, what else is this guy gonna do? It's giving some very insane energy. My wife is acting weird, and I just found out I might have an STI. That's not good. I'm in shock, and I really need some advice right now. Me, 40 male, and my wife, 37 female, have been married for 10 years, and we recently celebrated our anniversary, and we have 2 wonderful kids together. By the way, this comes from Choice Evidence 1983 on the r/OKstorytime subreddit.
Their last anniversary. So cute.
Oh, God. So since the beginning of the year, things have been off between us. She's been acting strangely since the beginning of the year, irritable, avoiding me, and we haven't been intimate much. Some days she's happy, some others fully irritated. Sometimes she's a great mother to our kids. Some other times she wishes they had never been born.
Whoa.
That is
that is quite the range.
Yeah. That's indicative of something going on, maybe her mental health, but yeah, not good signs here. Recently, I had to go to the urologist for a urinary tract infection, and the test suggested that it might have been an STI. This was a huge shock because I've never been with anyone other than my wife since we started dating. Right now, she's at a so-called business seminar. OP's sounds pretty distressful. Business.
When business is in quotes, it's going downhill.
Of which I have talked about in a different post. She's been keeping diaries for over a decade, and out of desperation, I read them for the first time ever.
Oh, God.
Not a good sign.
The trust is broken. The trust is broken. But hey, you found proof.
Why not talk to her? I mean, come on. Especially with something like that where it's like involving your health. I think you have the right to just bring that to the table and be like, yo, anything going on here? Just checking. So I read them for the first time ever. It turns out that she's been having multiple spicy sleep partners for the past 2 years. After celebrating their 10 years of marriage, she's cheating. She's having an affair. In particular, there was one affair that lasted over a year, and it seems that part of her irritability was due to her lover moving on to someone else. Dude.
That's why she was mad?
That's why she was taking out that. It's one thing taking work out on your partner is bad enough, but
taking your affair out at your partner for not going well.
I mean, brother.
Dude.
Brother.
Do you leave? Yes.
Get the freak out of here.
Get out of there ASAP.
I also discovered that she has a hidden Tinder account too, and has been meeting with other men regularly.
I feel like the other men are regular. It's like not just one guy. It's like multiple regularly.
Deep affairs, meeting with other guys. Like,
you don't recover from this. I mean, like one instance of cheating. This has been like hundreds.
it's one thing to use your golden hall pass.
Is one thing, yeah, which they only have like 4.
She was running. She ran
through
dangerously
all
fast.
Yeah.
I am devastated beyond words. I feel lost and unsure of what to do, especially since we have 2 little kids who mean the world to me. Lot of baggage here.
You don't stay together for the kids.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. I need some advice on how to handle this situation. Should I confront her immediately?
Yes.
Should I consult a lawyer first?
Ooh.
How do I even begin to process this betrayal and protect my kids through all of this? Thank you for any guidance you can offer in this incredibly difficult time. There is an update, but yeah. So again, running it down, he has, kids, 10-year marriage here. He's trying to figure out what exactly in chronological order should be his next move. I think personally, him mentioning the lawyer is probably a good idea, but I would do that as efficiently as possible and then get that checkbox fulfilled and go to the wife as soon as possible.
As soon as you can. I think it depends on how much you trust your wife to not be like a massive douche. Because it's like, if you're afraid of what she might do, then you go to a lawyer first. If you think you can talk to her, then maybe you talk to her first, then go to the lawyer.
I think even to just understand, get a quick sync of the implications and things to come, I think it could be, and literally, I think it could be like, call a lawyer to just like get an idea of like what the process is like, and maybe that day or the next day confront her, just so there's not a long period of time where
you have to like
live the lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think living the lie for as little time as possible makes a ton of sense. So
totally.
I guess I would revise and say, call lawyer, then call wife and have like soon, like have that conversation ASAP.
Yeah. And I didn't think about that until he mentioned it too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, maybe that's a move. But there is more.
Ugh.
We have an update.
What do you say to your wife? What do you say? Why you do this?
I would just, first I would like lay out all the evidence. Sure.
I think I would say like, hey, I know I broke the trust in our marriage by doing this, but I was getting really suspicious, and this is what I found. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I feel like I would kind of want to know why.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be my most level-headed, coherent self, but like, just like,
what's up?
Why do this? Like, just like go be with those guys. Like, don't be married to me and like, running around on the side. Well,
let's see.
Probably how to redact. Update. Thank you all for your invaluable advice and support. It has been a tremendous help during this difficult time. After my last post, my in-laws kindly offered to look after the kids while my wife was away at her seminar. They remain unaware of the turmoil I've been experiencing. I use this time to go through her diaries and take pictures of the contents. Chat, do we agree with that? Please let me know. Each entry felt like a stab in the back, leaving me in a state of shock and disbelief. I just don't recognize that person anymore I thought I knew and loved for over a decade. To avoid going too much into detail, the revelations in the diaries would make any movie or TV series I've ever seen pale in comparison. She's involved with at least 6 different men over the past 2 years.
6?
Dude. These affairs occurred not only during her so-called seminars, but also during short business trips, dinners, and other supposed work-related events. So, I mean, OP's suspicion about the business seminar was correct.
True, yeah.
Meanwhile, I was at home taking care of the kids and naively believing I was supporting her career. Dude, that just makes it sting so much worse, where you're like, I mean, it's a very reasonable sacrifice to do, but it's like, hey, yes, I'll watch the kids. You go grow in your career. I want you to have, all these opportunities and do this.
I mean, she did take every opportunity thrown at her.
My goodness gracious. She was very adaptable and flexible.
She was. And you know what? Sometimes you got to make those kind of choices to advance your career.
That's true.
And she did. She made every choice.
The men she worked with did experience lots of growth.
Mm-hmm. And they worked under her.
They did. like pretty vigorously. It seems.
Pretty vigorously, but she was working on top as well.
But she stayed on top of it.
She stayed on top of it the whole time.
Wow. Some entries vividly describe how great these encounters were for her, all while expressing gratitude towards me for being a devoted husband and father. Dude, that would make me so
shout
much.
out?
A shout out.
Oh, that's
Let's
so
go.
cute.
Bro.
She
That's
thought
so
of
cute.
me.
Yeah.
That would make me so much angrier,
Yeah.
honestly. That would piss me off so much more. Without a single trace of remorse. The lack of guilt and extent of her deception made me question her emotional and mental state. Yeah, for sure. This is I don't know what the diagnosis is, but it's something.
Psychopath.
Yeah,
Psychopath vibes for sure.
While reading through the diaries, I felt an overwhelming sense of despair and was seriously contemplating unaliving. In the end, I sought refuge with friends for a few days, as I felt I couldn't be alone. Otherwise, I'd do something that could never have been taken back. They really supported me a lot during this time and helped me get in contact with a therapist. I'm now taking regular therapy sessions once per week. They also helped me in getting in touch with lawyers specializing in divorce. Friends, shout out to them. That I think that was massively helpful and totally the right move on OP's part and the friend's part. I'm also getting treatment for my STI as well. Oh God, just so many knife twists here. It's Return. Sam commenting even with a mouthful. That is top tier podcasting, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't stop.
That's how we do it. Now, returning home after picking up the kids from my in-laws was an emotionally devastating experience. Just looking my kids in the face. Oh, dude, I can only imagine. I couldn't bring myself to smile at all. At some point, while contemplating all the possible ways that I could end it, my daughter just looked at me and saw my face. Without saying a word, she came over and wrapped her arms around me. At that moment, I broke down, held her tightly, and burst into tears in front of her. She's my sweet angel, and the shame of having considered leaving my kids to suffer under their mother's disdain was almost too much to bear. And for the first few weeks after finding out, I could barely sleep at all and had to depend on taking sleeping pills just to get through the nights. My motivation was at an all-time low, affecting both my home life and my work. I forced myself to continue exercising, found it was the only thing that actually made me feel better during this time. To whoever said in the previous post that I shouldn't give up on doing exercise, thank you. You may have just saved my life. The stress intensified after my wife returned from her trip. I mean, this is the big moment. This is the big one.
I mean, he's gonna say something like ASAP.
Oh, like should he?
Will he? You think?
I at this point I don't know if he can hold it in from like what.
Yeah,
he's
dude.
describing.
I mean, he can barely hold it in when she's not there.
I feel like he's gonna be pretty quickly address this. Initially, it took all my energy to hide my disgust at her and the knowledge that I had gained about her actions. I've somewhat got used to this now, but it remains emotionally draining. She did notice that something was off, but still appears to believe that I'm entirely unaware of what has transpired. Her lack of shame is staggering. Just recently, she asked me to buy her the expensive gift I promised her for a 10-year anniversary, for which I made an excuse to not buy her just yet. Despite her going into another business trip just the day after our anniversary, dude, true. Oh my God, which was described in extremely painful detail in her diaries. To make matters worse, she was even arranging to meet her latest partner on the day of my birthday. Bro, mans cannot catch a break. God dang
She
it.
has no freaking shame.
No freaking shame.
Which I think is why I'm pretty sure she's a psychopath.
Yeah, this is just...
Like, if you're going to
just-
do this stuff, you should at least feel a little bit bad, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Just a
dude.
little bit.
Like,
Not even that much, but she doesn't feel bad at all.
oh my God. Nowadays, I've started to feel a lot better thanks to exercise and therapy. I had never been to a therapist before in my life, and to be honest, I am regretting not having it done sooner. Despite my wife betraying me in the worst way possible, part of me still thought that maybe all of this was my own fault. Dude.
OP, no.
Maybe if I had done this, if I had put more effort into that, I blame myself for a lot of things. My therapist helped me see through it. While I could have done some things differently, in the end, I cannot be held responsible for the actions she chose to take, and no one deserves to be betrayed in the way I was.
Yeah, agreed.
If I'm at fault for anything, it's for blaming myself for everything, always putting her needs ahead of my own, and trusting her unconditionally without question. While it was extremely hard for me to balance work and looking after the kids alone every time she went on one of these trips, I always let her go after convincing myself that I was doing it for her, to support her business, to let her relieve stress from being at home, that this is what a supportive husband would do, which, just super quickly, I think is like, in general, I feel like that is, a good thing to try to do for a partner, and finding ways that you can support them. Generally, this is good.
And sometimes it's also getting support elsewhere, having a list of 6 to 12 men that can support your wife when you're not there.
It's the
little things
or big things.
It's the little or big, the massive
running the range. I mean, if I got 12 guys, that's
and sometimes all at the same time. It takes a village.
It takes a village to please your wife. That if maybe I'd had a better job or made her happier, she wouldn't feel the need to escape from home. Dude, I'm hoping it's probably entrenched deep, but just get that out of the window of your brain hole as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
My God. I'd be lying if I said I'm not depressed anymore, but I'm certainly doing much better these days. Nowadays, I feel more rage rather than sadness, and it is the rage that's keeping me going. My therapist advised me to channel this rage into the things I do, which has worked surprisingly well. I talked with 2 law firms about my situation and was advised to collect more evidence, which I've been devoting myself to for the past few weeks. I finished digitizing all of her diaries from the past few years, which were quite a lot. I got access to her computer and found way too many photos, chat conversations, and documents to help my case.
Oh my God.
Golly. She's been posting all of her adventures into a very distorted private Facebook group, to which I've also been able to take plenty of screenshots. I wonder if this is a Ashley Madison type Facebook
what is that?
group. Ashley Madison was it's a dating site only for people in relationships getting into affairs. So it's literally dedicated to having an affair. So I wonder if this Facebook group is
oh, dude, we should totally read from those.
We totally should.
We totally should.
I think I've seen Ashley Madison stories before, because also their entire site got hacked and leaked. So it was there's a whole Netflix documentary on it. There's it's just, yeah.
Oh, dude, we should totally read from those.
Yeah, there's a treasure trove of
who could get that for us is Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie could. Guys, we are in the background. We're cooking. I've compiled a list of all of her sexual partners in the diaries and have been identifying them one by one on social media, etc. I've gathered everything I could on her current partners and managed to figure out where they live and or work. Now I'm debating on whether or not I should confront them. What do you gain? What do you gain from confronting the other guys?
I don't think anything.
I feel like nothing. The things I've read in these diaries are so bizarre that I thought maybe she was just writing material for some sort of twisted novel. That is, until I found all of the other stuff on her computer, etc. Maybe I'm broken myself as well, but a part of me is actually enjoying the process of gathering all these tiny pieces of evidence of information.
He's like, dang, this would make a great book.
Right? Cross-referencing them with her diaries and finding everything I can about her and her lovers. Part of me wants to see her burn on social media by posting directly everything I found out. Since a big part of her business is centered around social media.
Oh, sheesh.
Woo, but I'm refraining myself from doing so, since that would affect both me and the kids as well as her parents. Yeah, do not do that.
But maybe push for full custody of the kids.
Push for full custody. And
again, she would probably agree to it because of what you have.
Exactly. And I think it is good to gather all of the evidence so that way you can get the best possible situation that you want for you, for your kids, etc., etc. As well as her parents, who have been nothing but kind to me since we've got married. But I'm also not sure if I should bring this to light to her parents as well, since this would probably devastate them. I'm planning on confronting her after talking further with the lawyers about how to make sure I gain custody of my kids. The country I live in has a rather unfair tendency of granting custody to the mother, even if she's unfit for it, setting the terms of the divorce and the child support. By the way, you can join our live like we are right now, every weekday at 3 p.m. PST.
Support us.
Why don't you just
children
tap the profile? In any case, thank you for all the advice. A few weeks ago, I was in full despair, had no idea what to do or how to approach the situation. Nowadays, I feel that little by little, I'm digging myself out of this hole that I've been thrown into. Sorry if I don't respond to all of your comments. Right now, my full attention is devoted to protecting my kids. That is the end of the story.
I think he confronts the wife and not all the partners.
Yeah, I think at this point, again, I think, like a short interim period on, talking to a lawyer, maybe gathering some stuff if you need. I think we're well beyond the point. And he can still gather, maybe she tries to hide stuff, but like you can still gather stuff later, but just
you
tell
have all
her.
you need.
Yeah, just you have everything you need. I would just tell her now and just kind of.
And also, I don't think she even would want the kids. If she was at the beginning, she was bouncing between like wishing they were never born.
Yeah,
so it's like which is a sociopathic thing to say.
I mean, it's just so insane.
Yeah, so I think like for those reasons, definitely don't be with her. Probably don't have her around your kids. And cut her free.
Cut her free. Let her go.
Let her go. Get 12 more partners. She deserves it.
Now she can get like 100.
Yeah, dude. She
have
can
to
stack those numbers up.
I mean,
juggling
the ceiling. 12 guys and in a marriage. I mean, that takes
management.
That takes time management.
Yeah, that's some CEO shit right there.
She could do it. Have some sort of psychotic, very successful business.
Yeah, dude. I mean, even if she was like sugar babying, like
maybe
sugar
she's
babying
the CEO of Ashley Madison.
Dude, she might be.
She could have crushed
She's
it.
getting fodder for it.
Could have crushed it.
But you know what? I'm going to focus on this next story. Yahoo!
Let's do it.
My girlfriend is a compulsive spender. I just found out she's been stealing money to afford it.
Oh, dear.
My 27 female partner, 32 female of 2 years, has an impulse issue when it comes to spending money. The first year of our relationship, I didn't notice because we're adults with our own money and jobs, and I'm not one to question how someone spends their money. I knew she made more money than me also, so she's rolling it.
Ooh.
She also ended up moving in with me and my family, and they loved her, my grandma especially. She also was not asked to pay rent or any bills while living with us. That's just how my grandma is. My grandma liked her a lot and eventually began letting my partner run errands for her, as my grandma doesn't leave the house anymore. But what we always make sure to never leave is our subreddit r/okstorytime, where Air Environmental 1344 submitted this story. So in March, for my brother's birthday, my grandma wanted my cousin, we'll call her Haley, to go buy a cake. Cool.
Love that.
But my grandma couldn't find her bank card. She thought first that Haley forgot to return it last time she ran errands for grandma.
I see you.
But I see you.
I see you.
In the chat.
This is bad.
Also,
if you see what is coming.
This is from our direct subreddit.
Whoa.
Oh,
one of our own.
This is truly one of our very own.
Truly one of our very own.
Whoa.
They looked everywhere and couldn't find it. Haley checked my grandma's banking app on her phone, and we saw that someone had used the card the day before.
How dumb do you have to be? You think they're not going to trace it back to you? Insanity.
That triggered all of us to assume my other cousin, we'll call him George, had taken it because he had shown up the day before out of nowhere, and he's a known thief. My partner ended up calling me from her job while all that was going on, and I explained to her what was happening and that we think George stole grandma's card. My partner got instantly irritated and said that she couldn't deal with drama right now because she's already stressed with work. I thought it was weird that she was stressed with the situation as it didn't even involve her. I think we know what happened here.
Agreed.
But let's keep going. When she came home that night, things got weirder. She got in the shower while I sat and talked with my brother and Haley. When my partner came out, she heard us talking about George and how awful it is that he would do that to her grandma. When she heard us talking, my partner said that she was feeling tired and that she was going to lay down. I thought that was strange because she has insomnia and I'm usually the one in bed early. I had never heard her say she was going to go to bed before. So I followed her and she started acting weird, saying things like, "What if your cousin wasn't the one that took the card?"
Why is she telling on herself so hard?
Dude,
like,
I feel like she just can't help it.
If you're gonna be a thief, at least be a good thief.
Yeah,
right?
and she is not a good thief.
Come on, man.
I ended up pretty much having to hold her and calm her down for a couple hours until she fell asleep. I genuinely thought she was having some kind of mental breakdown and that she was confused. The next morning, I woke up, my partner, for work, and she immediately started freaking out again. The long story, but she basically ended up leaving the house, speaking recklessly about wanting to harm herself. And when I finally found her, I tried to figure out if I should take her home or take her to the hospital. Haley called me while I was with my partner, and she simply said, "Hey, I think you should come home. It doesn't look good." My partner heard Haley say that, and she said, "It was me, wasn't it?" And at that moment, everything just clicked. And I knew that my partner had been the one to take the card and that she was the one spending the money.
Wow. Wow. Why? What's your
And
motive?
especially because she has money too.
She has money. The grandma is the one that allowed her to stay in the place rent free.
So my family had looked back at the transactions and seen that it went back to way before George came around. I told my partner that I couldn't believe she sent me on a goose chase, worried and trying to find her just because she couldn't tell me the truth and she knew she did something wrong. She tried to stop me from leaving, but I got in my car and immediately called the police because I knew she would do something stupid after I left. My partner ended up being hospitalized for over 6 months.
Whoa. I don't understand.
I think she was basically being found out for stealing. She just went kind of crazy.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Also, this is rich. She claimed to not remember anything she did.
Pleading the fifth.
I guess I just forgot everything.
I just took it. My hand, sometimes I'm like walking down the street, like the credit card's in my hand. Oops, I swipe.
Classic amnesia.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, I can't be held accountable for this. I don't remember.
Come on, plead the fifth.
She claimed to not remember anything she did. I didn't believe her, and I'm still unsure. She had been stealing money from not only my grandmother, but from me for months.
Whoa.
After 6 months or something close to that, I went through a lot of emotions. I was heartbroken. I was betrayed. My partner had stolen money from me while I was in the hospital, while I was sleeping,
Jeez.
while I was already sending her money for things. I just don't understand it, and I guess I still don't. Well, as you can guess, it took a lot of work between us, but I decided to give her another chance. And now I feel like I'm going to end up in the same position again. I've noticed my partner hasn't been sleeping well. Her mental health is suffering. And I noticed that she's been spending a lot of money. Keep in mind, she hasn't even been back to work. She told me that she had been saving up for all her disability payments while she was hospitalized. We got a house together. I just bought a new car that she swore she was going to help me with. And then a couple of days ago, I tried to talk to her about something. And she randomly brought up how she feels she can't go anywhere or buy anything without me asking what she's doing and what she's buying. Well, duh. I mean, you stole from him for 6 months.
I mean, honestly, why is he still with her? I don't understand.
I think this would be a deal breaker for me.
Just the stealing, the fallout that came as a result from it. There's just multiple factors here. And we're just oh yeah, so we got together. I'm like, wait, what?
You wouldn't pause for a little bit?
Yeah, you're not
hold up.
taking
Is this a good idea?
My God. I don't know.
Well, I told her that in all honesty, I'm doing that because I've noticed your mental health declining and how much money you're spending, and I'm worried about it. When I got home, she basically broke down and cried and told me that all her money is spent and that she's been ignoring her hospital bills and ignoring her therapist and ignoring her caseworker, and she said she doesn't know what to do. She told me that part of the reason she added me to her bank account is so that maybe I could see what she was spending and keep her in line, basically. She said that all of this is stressing her out and that when she's stressed, she spends money, which I imagine makes her More stress. I said nothing. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get help. And I'm scared I'm going to get myself hurt again. I'm scared that I'm going to lose my home. And I'm scared I'm going to lose my partner. I think I realized that she really is a lot more mentally ill than I've realized. And I'm scared. My partner's best friend talked to me and told me that my partner has never been good with money. And she never will be. And that she's basically had this issue her whole life. And that I should basically take charge of all the finances and all of her money as well. All I can think about is how I don't want to have to do that. I shouldn't have to. But what you should have to do is join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube. Just tap her profile. But side note, literally a day after she broke down crying to me, we went to the store and she had $50 worth of lottery tickets with her because she needed to cash some in.
What?
That really upset me and sent me into a spiral. I've been depressed lately and just feeling hopeless. I just need advice here, please, or to hear from anyone who has dealt with similar issues. What can I do? Is this a lost cause? Thank you to anyone who took the time to read my post. I've really been struggling with this and don't seem to get any responses when I try to discuss this. And that is where this story ends.
Why try to solve it in the first
Break
place?
up? Maybe break up.
I don't know. Remind me there. Do we know how long they've been in a relationship and if they have kids or not?
I do not believe that they have kids.
I don't know. I'm just like,
but they have been in a relationship of 2 years, and OP is 27 and their partner is 32.
I don't know. To me, I'm just like, this is clearly OP is seeing this is a problem that is like monumental and doesn't seem like anything that he can help solve. Like, this is her issue to ultimately fix. Like, she's the only one that has the power to do it. And it's like, if she's still showing signs, there's still so many red flags.
Dude, there's red flag after red flag.
Everywhere.
And it's like at a certain point, like, I mean, you have to just actually look at the red flags and realize this was not a relationship worth saving.
Yeah.
And OP, I don't think has made that decision because, as Caitlin Van Kampen says, the head game too strong.
It's too strong.
Hard to think straight when that head game's strong.
There's more head in the sea.
Guys, come on. There's more head in the sea.
Come on.
Slidey Toe says, I hate to say it, but if he wants to stay with her, he is going to have to take control of her finances until she gets a therapist who can help her. And it sounds like he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, like, and look, there are ways. Like, I intentionally chose not to comment on like ways to do it because I truly believe that he shouldn't. There's definitely some things that he could do and could help, but like, it's just, I don't know. It just seems too much.
Yeah. I mean, they've only been together for 2
She
years.
should go to rehab, honestly, for...
Well, she was institutionalized for 6 months.
She was.
Is that not enough for you? What do you think that is? Is that not
know.
rehab?
Maybe that's
What is
not...
that?
Because there's a difference between like being hospitalized and going to rehab in many
I don't know. I think
instances.
rehab often is like dude, there's some like whack ass, like the underground.
For sure.
You know the underground rehab. Like rehab is
It's just a cash cow.
it's a cash cow.
Yeah.
Like you have in equine horse therapy rehab where people are paying like $100K for like 30 days or less to pet some horses. And I'm like, if that's not a money laundering scheme, I think it is.
Agreed. But at this point,
But there's also good.
I'm like,
there also is good rehab.
Yeah.
To be clear, I feel like there's like a lot of sketchy stuff going in the rehab centers. Well, that was a doozy.
Yep. Say that.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.